Dog culture and antinatalism are two similar things with different names, much like self fulfilling prophecy and the Pygmalion effect. So, antinatalist and dog culture people, they create a self fulfilling prophecy and a Pygmalion effect. So, the self fulfilling prophecy is a prediction that comes true, at least in part, because of a person's belief or expectation. Merely applying a label to someone or something can affect the perception of the person and create a self fulfilling prophecy. Antinatalists, what do? They say that breeding is bad, breeding creates suffering, so we're not going to have kids. But by doing that, they lend to the suffering on Earth by not bringing good humans onto the Earth. So next up, we got the Pygmalion effect. The Pygmalion effect is a psychological phenomenon in which high expectations lead to improved performance and low expectations lead to worse performance. So this happens in dog culture and antinatalism too. Dog owners run around with this idea that, hey, dogs are better, man. Humans are never going to meet my expectations. So dog owners create a Pygmalion effect, and so do antinatalists. Let's check up on the antinatalist definition. A psychological view that deems procreation to be unethical. Antinatalists argue that humans should abstain from having children. Okay, let me show you this interesting thing about antinatalism. Blue highlight coming up. Death is inevitable. Humans are born without their consent. It's interesting that antinatalism claims that humans are born without their consent. How could they give consent? They would have to be alive. And so, if they can give consent or not consent, by not birthing them, you've also basically wiped their potential life off of this earth. So, antinatalism, it's like it doesn't even make any logical sense if you read into it. And neither does dog culture. To say that humans are born without their consent, so where is the consent given? Do you like what do you do? Are you like a Terminator and you travel backwards in time? And it doesn't make any sense. If you're able to give consent before you are born, then the fact that these antinatalist people are not allowing them to be born, that's also taking away their consent. So antinatalism is very myopic. It's very much like, this is the point that we follow. Even if other points don't make our points look logical, we don't care, because we're antinatalists. And that's the way dog owners act too. The way that dog ownership is like antinatalism, dog ownership chips away at human connection. Human connection is very important. So many dog owners choose to have a four-legged offspring, a fur baby, instead of a human. So less humans are going to be born, more dogs are going to be spoiled, humans are going to be pushed away from each other. That's the Pygmalion effect. That's the self-fulfilling prophecy. Humans that don't get this human connection, humans that read all this stuff that says dogs are better than kids, those people are losing their human connection more and more and more, and they're becoming worse people because they don't get that human connection to build them up. And so then the dog owners can sit back and say, see, you see, these humans are bad. And then the antinatalists, they can sit back too, and they can say, yeah, see, look at how crappy this freaking place is. So antinatalism and dog culture, they're kind of like a tag team against humanity. They're both serving similar evil, subhuman things. If you want to know how far this dog worship has gone, go ahead and do a keyword search like I did right here. People are literally choosing to have intimate relations not just with dogs instead of humans, but, humans still realize that dogs are freaking gross and they stink. So guess what they're getting? Yeah, they're getting dog-shaped dolls that they can have intimacy with. So that's how far this dog worship has gone. And it's actually gone farther, but I just wanted to share this one with you. If you want to have a look at it, go ahead. But yeah, this is where dog worship is. And you wonder why people don't have good sexual relationships and stuff. This love and worship of dogs is a huge driver of it. And how are you going to procreate? How are you going to procreate if you're too busy having intimacy with dogs? You can't. And that also feeds into the antinatalists, because you're not going to have children. Antinatalists that have investigated dog culture and they see this stuff, they're probably sitting back there with their antinatal arms crossed, laughing at us like, ha ha ha, you're not going to have kids whether you like antinatalism or not. On the topic of dog worship, many studies have been done about loneliness and isolation and how that affects our mental health. And so the more we isolate ourselves away from each other to worship dogs, the more that we lose our human connection and the worse people we become. And that feeds into this violent circle, because, the worse we become, the more depressed we become as we get all this connection. We have to try to fix it with another dog, and it never works. And then everybody can sit back. The dog owners can sit back. The antinatalists can sit back and say, look, you see how terrible this place is? We should never have kids. Let's get some more dogs. Yay! Now, a quick little aside. I realize that antinatalists also think that other animals shouldn't procreate. And I'm not saying that antinatalists and dog culture perfectly lines up, but they're subhuman. They're humans aren't no good. Humans are causing all this suffering. Those key parts of both of those ideologies feed into and empower each other. And now for the end, I'm going to show you a really funny example of how antinatalism creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, and a super funny free movie that you can watch on YouTube. So check out the movie Idiocracy. I'm just going to show you a few moments of the opening of it. Have a look at it yourself. It'll help you escape the goofiness of this dog culture conversation for a good hour and a half. So these people are very similar to the antinatalists. They're very eccentric. They're very much like, we know the best way to go. Everybody should be like us. So they're not going to have kids. One of the arguments they make is, well, the market just isn't right. So check out what happens.
It's always me, right?
No. Not my sperm count.
Yeah! I'm gonna fuck all y'all! That's my boy!
You see, antinatalists are too busy sitting, on their couch in their mother's basement or up in their high tower, thinking they're super smart, thinking they're going to save the world from suffering by not having kids or telling other people to stay single all their life. And maybe they do have a high IQ, which really means nothing. But all the low IQ people out there that don't necessarily have a job or deeper thinking or intuitive thoughts, they're out there popping out kids like crazy. And this is just a movie, Idiocracy. But this is a direct correlation to how our society works. Antinatalists, they just don't get it. They don't understand the real world that they live in. Not everybody is going to adopt their goofy philosophy, this old, outdated philosophy from a long time ago. Most people, if they can, are going to procreate. And then these antinatalists that do have some pretty good ideas, they're not going to bring their ideas into society and make society better. They're going to sit back and be like, you see, I told you so. And there's the Pygmalion effect and the self-fulfilling prophecy of the antinatalists. And a very similar thing goes on with the dog culture too. So there it is. Go check out the movie and have some laughs. See you guys later.